It's very dramatic music coming in because it's a very dramatic story. The James Webb Telescope is moving into its permanent position.
The James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, has once again delivered a groundbreaking discovery, this time unveiling an object so unusual and enigmatic that it has sent ripples through the scientific community. Nestled deep in a remote sector of the cosmos, far beyond what was previously observable with older instruments, Webb detected an astronomical structure whose characteristics challenge not just our models of stellar formation or galactic evolution, but the very principles of known physics. This object, residing in the abyssal frontier of deep space, is terrifying not in any malevolent sense, but because of its sheer defiance of what we believed was cosmically possible. Before we start, hit the like and subscribe buttons for more exclusive news. Located in a region of space considered to be nearly empty, a cosmic void that had long resisted yielding secrets, Webb's ultra-sensitive infrared sensors picked up an anomalous signature. At first, the structure appeared to resemble a black hole, but closer observation began to unravel a far stranger reality. The object emits a gravitational pull akin to that of a supermassive black hole. Yet it does not appear to conform to the typical radiation pattern one would expect. It's not simply dark, it's eerily silent. No X-rays, no radio emissions, no Hawking radiation. Nothing that would indicate the chaotic processes normally associated with such a massive gravitational anchor. What makes the detection even more disconcerting is that the object doesn't appear to exist in a galaxy or cluster. It seems to float alone, in isolation, away from the chaotic congregation of stars, gas, and dark matter that typically surround massive entities. Its solitary nature only adds to the unsettling mystery. How could such a massive force exist without influencing or being influenced by its surroundings? Scientists are baffled. Models were run. Theories were revisited, and nothing adequately explained the behavior of this cosmic anomaly. The object's gravitational lensing effects, the way it bends light from background galaxies, are immense and complex. Webb observed distant galaxies behind it being distorted into shapes that don't align with standard gravitational lensing patterns. The distortion is chaotic, non-uniform, and shows a twisting in space-time itself that hints at dimensions or forces beyond the four we currently acknowledge. It's as though the object is not just warping space, but folding it into patterns we have no framework for understanding. Spectroscopic data added even more intrigue. When the telescope analyzed light interacting with the object's outer boundary, it registered wavelengths that do not belong to any known atomic structure. These weren't just shifted spectral lines, they were entirely new. The light exhibited frequency gaps, erratic polarization, and in some bands, completely vanished before reappearing a fraction of a second later in a different position in the sky. This suggests a form of interaction with space itself that isn't just gravitational, but possibly quantum in nature, hinting at exotic matter, or perhaps an interface with a hidden layer of the universe. The implications are staggering. If this object does represent a new type of celestial body, it could force a redefinition of the life cycle of stars and the death states of massive objects. It might not be a black hole in the conventional sense, but something more primal, a relic of a previous cosmic epoch, or even a prototype construct from the universe's earliest moments. Some have speculated it could be a dark star, powered not by nuclear fusion but by the annihilation of dark matter within its core. Others propose it might be a quantum singularity, a stabilized pocket of energy maintained by forces that emerged before time itself crystallized into linearity. The detection also challenges our assumptions about isolation in space. Most massive celestial phenomena are products of aggregation, stars collapsing, galaxies merging, matter accumulating under gravity. But this entity seems to have emerged without an ecosystem. No accretion disk surrounds it. No evidence of recent stellar death or galactic interaction is visible. If it was born from a cataclysm, the scars have been wiped clean. If it formed through exotic processes, those processes must be far beyond the threshold of modern cosmology. More curious still is the strange synchronization detected in the photons arriving from the vicinity. Webb's instruments recorded what can only be described as a temporal cadence, light pulses that appear synchronized with intervals tied to Planck time, the smallest meaningful unit in quantum mechanics. It's almost as if the object is vibrating or oscillating in harmony with the fabric of quantum spacetime. The idea that such an entity could be resonating with the underlying grid of the universe adds a deeply unsettling dimension. This is not just an astronomical oddity, it may be a message encoded into the very architecture of reality. The geometry of the object, inferred through indirect methods like gravitational mapping and polarimetric imaging, is also peculiar. It doesn't present a clean spherical silhouette typical of black holes or neutron stars. Instead, it appears slightly oblong, and at times its outline seems to flicker, changing shape subtly over hours or days. This could imply a spinning multi-dimensional surface or a boundary that exists in more than 3 spatial dimensions. If so, the object might be bleeding into our universe from a higher dimensional reality, partially manifesting here, while the rest remains hidden in extra-dimensional shadows. Adding another layer of complexity is the object's effect on time. Instruments aboard Webb experienced minor but measurable desynchronizations when tracking the object. While initially dismissed as calibration errors, further study confirmed that the anomalies only occurred when observing the vicinity of the mysterious structure. The timing signals, which are synchronized via atomic clocks and laser-ranging systems, would occasionally diverge by milliseconds, only to correct themselves once the focus shifted away. It's as if the object isn't just distorting space, but also creating ripples in time itself. Such temporal distortion, however slight, evokes theories long relegated to the fringes of physics. Ideas about time loops, closed time-like curves, or even artificially generated wormholes begin to take on a new weight when observational data hints they might not be mere thought experiments. The object could be a naturally occurring or artificially stabilized portal in time. Whether it leads to the past, future, or some parallel strand of the universe is unknown, but the implications for causality, information flow, and the nature of entropy are profound. Adding to the growing list of perplexities, Webb's deep field sensors also picked up a faint repeating radio pulse from the general vicinity. Unlike pulsars or fast radio bursts, which usually exhibit periodic high-intensity emissions, this signal was whisper-quiet and incredibly regular, each pulse spaced by an interval that aligns precisely with the Earth's orbital period around the Sun. The odds of such a natural coincidence are astronomical. No known celestial mechanics can account for that timing unless the object possesses some form of environmental awareness or is actively responding to Earth's position. That single fact has ignited a firestorm of theoretical speculation. Could this object be an artifact, constructed not born? Could it be a signal beacon, a listening post, or worse, a dormant probe from a civilization so advanced that its technology appears indistinguishable from nature itself? The idea that we are observing something designed by intelligence rather than formed by chance isn't a conclusion scientists draw lightly. But when natural explanations fail, even the most conservative minds are forced to consider the unthinkable. Complicating the narrative further is the object's interaction with nearby matter, or rather its avoidance of such interaction. Webb tracked a slow-moving cloud of interstellar gas drifting within range of the object, only to watch it abruptly decelerate and change course. This wasn't due to any known force. The gas cloud didn't heat up, wasn't ionized, and showed no signs of turbulence. Instead, it appeared to be gently repelled by an invisible field, an interaction that violates every known expectation of gravitational dynamics. It's as if the object maintains a controlled environment, preventing contamination or intrusion. This peculiar interaction prompted further examination with simulated probes, refined AI models projected to determine the trajectory of matter near the object. These simulations consistently show that any particle or mass approaching within a specific radius simply ceases to behave according to conventional physics. Acceleration patterns flatten, inertia becomes inconsistent, and energy dissipation occurs in non-linear patterns. This has led to the hypothesis that the object could be wrapped in a space-time sheath, a kind of event cloak that not only hides its true nature but manipulates the surrounding reality in carefully modulated ways. The fear isn't that the object is dangerous in a direct apocalyptic sense, but that it fundamentally rewrites the boundaries of what we think the universe is. If it is a natural object, then the laws of nature are far more complex and layered than we imagined. If it is artificial, then we are not the only species to have harnessed physics. We are not alone, and worse, we may be wildly behind. Either possibility evokes an existential dread not because of malevolence, but because of scale. This isn't a monster hiding in the dark. This is the realization that the dark is far larger, older, and stranger than we ever dared imagine. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, could you leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on the terrifying object James Webb just detected in deep space? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.